Brother Knights all, Vivat Jesus. This is Steve Jasek, Michigan State Membership Retention Director. I would like to thank you for taking the time to review this presentation today regarding the membership retention process for the state of Michigan. This presentation is intended to help you better understand not only what to do, but why each portion of the process is important. It should be viewed by every council's Grand Knight, Financial Secretary, and each Membership Retention Committee member. This process has recently been updated by Supreme, and as we go through the process, I will explain the update. The process begins in December with the mailing of the first dues notice to the membership. This is normally not a problem because most financial secretaries are pretty good at sending out bills. Some councils use email, and there also are electronic payment options like PayPal and auto deposit. Shown is the old form used prior to member management. Council should send out the second dues notice no later than January 15th. This is the member management second notice form. Again, not normally an issue. Here is where the process was updated by Supreme. Previous practice was for the council to send out night alerts to all the delinquent members, then send intent to suspend forms, then initiate the retention committee to personally contact each delinquent member. Now the council retention committee starts to personally contact the delinquent members before the night alert and intent to suspend forms are sent out. The financial secretary provides names, contact information, and the amount due for each delinquent member. The retention committee chairman initiates the retention worksheet, Michigan Form MI-12, and fills out the names and contact information on the form. The worksheets are distributed to individuals on the retention committee. The committee member fills in his name and phone number on the form and starts making his phone calls. The retention worksheet is used by the retention committee to document all their actions. Committee members should attempt 3 calls to each member over a 3-week period. The retention committee member documents on the worksheet actions that were taken to contact the member each time contact was attempted. Dates the calls were made and the results of those calls. No answer, left a message, wrong number. If contact was made, what was the discussion and with whom? If the council finds that they do not have the current contact information, they should immediately contact the state retention director for assistance to research current information for them. By March 15th, the council now sends out the night alert to all the delinquent members. It's a letter signed by the Grand Knight and the council trustees explaining the value of each member to the council and the good that the member can do for the church and the community by remaining a Knight of Columbus. By April 1st, the intent to retain notice, formerly the intent to suspend form, is mailed to the member and the Supreme Council Membership Records Department. This form indicates that efforts have been made by the council membership to contact a member and that he is currently more than 30 days delinquent on his dues. If he does not make payment within the next 60 days, the council will be forced to suspend him from the Knights of Columbus. Contact information is given and the member is urged to make payment or contact the Grand Knight with any questions or concerns. This does not mean that everything has been done to contact a member. It is just a next step in the process. The member management intent to retain notice is created in a PDF document format. This PDF file can be emailed as an attachment or copied and snail mailed. Again, it should be sent to the member if the council has the member's email address and to the Supreme Council Membership Records Department at membership@kfc.org. When emailed, signatures on this form are not required. Again, this does not mean that everything has been done to contact a member. It's just the next step in the process. Also, by April 1st, the Retention Committee Chairman will begin reviewing the worksheets with the Grand Knight. The Grand Knight will then set up a meeting with the district deputy to review the actions of the retention committee and as a group assess their next steps. This may include home visits, contacting insurance agent for help, identifying hardship cases, and recommending member suspensions. When the Supreme Council receives the intent to retain notice, they send the state retention director what they call a conservation list. It is a listing of the names of the members in danger of being suspended. The state retention director will forward the conservation list to the district deputy and the Grand Knight for their review. The conservation list shows age and years of service of each member. It is important to look for any patterns that may exist. Are most of the delinquent members older, younger? Are they longtime members or newer members? Any pattern may be a telltale sign that the council may not be providing what these members want or expect. Does the council need more programs for either of these categories to keep these members in the future? Can we get members back if programs are developed that target any of these areas? Another concern are the honorary life members. Are these members close to being honorary life? If so, they should be given special attention. Another major concern is accurate or current membership contact information. The state retention director has paid for search mechanisms on the internet to get current information. Contact him and he will do everything he can to help you. Are they insurance members? If so, the insurance agent should contact these members to let them know how their benefits will change if they lose their active membership status. All of these things can be very helpful, not only in retaining your current membership, but retaining a strong membership in the future. Your district deputy and state retention director are eager to help, but it starts and ultimately ends with you. We are all aware of the fact that 90% of the work at the council is usually performed by only 10% of the membership. This is something that most councils constantly struggle with. I believe that this 90%, 10% situation is a common problem with any and all fraternal organizations. It is not unique to the Knights of Columbus. Does this mean that 90% of the members are not good members? I don't think so. I believe these are men who are being good fathers to their children and good providers for their family. They are also good Catholics who believe in the principles of the Knights of Columbus. They would like to be more active in their councils, but at this point in their lives are willing to support us by paying their dues, many of them for 15, 20, or even 25 years. The problem comes in when they move or change email addresses. Since they are not active, we are not the first thing that they think about when they are moving. They may start their new careers and a new job, or just concerned about getting their kids in a local school, or all the problems of relocating. They probably didn't even notice that they didn't get their dues notice this year. These are good men who, when contacted, probably want to retain their membership. They have, in many cases, supported us for years with their dues payment, and now is time for us to support them. All too often, council's attitude is they didn't even bother to send us their new address and phone number. Heck with them. On the contrary, we need to do everything we can to find these good men so that they can remain members. They deserve our support. Another common response we commonly get when contacting delinquent members is, if I can't be active, I don't want to be a member. My response is this: do you support organizations like the American Cancer Society or Special Olympics? If you do, that means you must be actively involved with those organizations, right? If not, then how can you support them? The Knights of Columbus is a Catholic family service organization supporting our church and our local communities. What is there not to support? You may not be able to actively participate in our activities, but you can support our cause by paying dues and retaining your membership. After every effort has been made to retain these members by the council, in conjunction with the district deputy and the state retention director, the delinquent members can be suspended 60 to 90 days after the intent to suspend forms were received by Supreme. The Council can send a Form 100 to Supreme Council Membership Records Department to suspend the members. If the Form 100 is not sent to Supreme within the 60 to 90 day period after the intent to suspend forms were received by Supreme, the member will not be suspended and the suspension process needs to be started from the beginning. Thank you for all you do for your church, your community, and the Knights of Columbus. If you have any further questions or concerns, contact your district deputy or me, Steve Jasek, your State Membership Retention Director. Again, thank you and vive